Imagine tuning into your television on a quiet evening in 1977, expecting the usual news or drama, only to be thrust into a chilling revelation that shakes the very foundation of your reality. A documentary unfolds, deadpan and authoritative, unveiling a secret so profound it could mean the end of life as we know it. This is the story of Alternative 3, a broadcast that blurred the lines between fiction and terrifying truth. Was it a clever hoax, or did it accidentally expose the darkest fears of our world? Stay with us as we dive into this unexplained mystery. This is Tom Mackenzie, and you are listening to Unexplained History. If you are enjoying this show, make sure to subscribe on all major platforms like Apple, Spotify, and Spreaker. And if you want more unexplained content, swing by our website at unexplained.co.
The screen flickers to life in living rooms across Britain on June 20th, 1977. Anglia Television's Science Report series presents what appears to be a hard-hitting investigative piece. But this is no ordinary episode. The host, with a grave expression, announces a probe into the mysterious disappearances of top scientists, physicists, engineers, biologists, vanishing without a trace. Whispers of brain drain echo through dimly lit labs and hushed corridors. As the camera pans over grainy footage of empty offices and abandoned experiments, a sense of unease settles in. The air feels thick, heavy with unspoken dread, like the calm before a storm that could engulf the planet. The narrative builds swiftly, relentlessly. Interviews with insiders reveal a horrifying truth. Earth is dying. Climate experts, their voices trembling, describe runaway global warming, impending ecological collapse, oceans rising, atmospheres choking on pollution. The world leaders, in secret conclaves, have devised three alternatives. Alternative 1. Detonate nuclear bombs to clear the atmosphere. Too risky. Alternative 2. Build underground bunkers for the elite. Feasible, but limited. Then comes Alternative 3. A covert joint operation between the US and Soviet Union to colonize Mars. Shuttles launching from hidden bases, abducting brilliant minds to build a new human outpost. The footage shows blurred images of spacecraft, eerie lunar landscapes morphing into Martian dunes, red dust swirling in an alien wind, cold and unforgiving. Viewers sit frozen, hearts pounding. Is this real? The presentation is impeccable. Testimonials from astronauts, decoded signals from space probes, even a chilling clip of a landing on Mars where something alive scurries across the frame. Panic spreads like wildfire. Phone lines to the station jam with calls from terrified families demanding answers. Newspapers buzz the next day, some decrying it as a prank scheduled for April Fools but delayed, others wondering if it's an accidental leak. The creators insist it's fiction, a mockumentary meant to entertain. But the ambiguity lingers. Why the deadpan delivery? Why tap into real environmental fears of the era? The oil crises, pollution scares? The psychological impact is profound. Sleepless nights, conspiracy theories blooming in the shadows. Decades later, the uncertainty endures. Books and films expand the myth, claiming Alternative 3 was based on insider knowledge, perhaps a whistleblower's cry masked as satire. Feel the chill as you ponder. In that era of Cold War secrets and space race paranoia, could such a program exist? The broadcast's eerie realism plants seeds of doubt that grow into vast, twisting vines of speculation. Listeners, picture the dim glow of your TV screen, the static hum filling the room, and ask yourself, was it just a hoax? Or did it reveal a covert truth about humanity's desperate grasp for survival?
The mystery of Alternative 3 leaves us questioning what lurks behind the veil of official stories. But to truly understand this enigma, we must journey back in time. Next, we will travel back to the specific era to set the scene and uncover the roots of this unsettling broadcast. Welcome back, listeners. Before we dive into the heart of this unexplained mystery, let's step back in time. Picture the United Kingdom in the mid-1970s, a world on the brink where shadows of the past lingered and the future felt uncertain. It was an era of change, tension, and unexpected wonders. Now, let's immerse ourselves in the world before the events unfolded.
The year is 1975. The United Kingdom, still recovering from the economic shocks of the early decade, hums with a mix of resilience and unease. Streets in London are alive with the rumble of black cabs and red double-decker buses, their exhaust mingling with the damp fog that clings to cobblestone alleys. The air carries the scent of coal smoke from lingering fireplaces and the faint aroma of fish and chips wrapped in newspaper. People hurry along, bundled in wool coats and scarves, their breaths visible in the chill. Politically, the nation grapples with inflation and strikes. The three-day work week, a recent memory from '73, when power cuts plunged homes into darkness. Prime Minister Harold Wilson navigates a fragile government, while the IRA's bombings cast a shadow of fear over daily life. Yet, amid the turmoil, there's a sense of community. Neighbors chatting over garden fences, sharing stories from the pub. Globally, the Cold War grips the world in an icy stalemate. The United States and Soviet Union eye each other warily, their arsenals brimming with nuclear might. The Vietnam War has just ended in '75, leaving scars and protests echoing from Washington to Westminster. In Europe, détente offers a fragile peace, but whispers of espionage and betrayal fill the airwaves. People live with the constant hum of anxiety. Air raid sirens tested sporadically, reminding everyone of the thin line between peace and annihilation. Imagine families gathered around black and white televisions, the glow illuminating worried faces as news of arms races and proxy wars unfolds. The scent of instant coffee and cigarette smoke fills living rooms, where children play with matchbox cars on shag carpets, oblivious to the geopolitical storm brewing outside. Environmental concerns are rising like a tide. The public awakens to the planet's fragility, inspired by Rachel Carson's Silent Spring and the first Earth Day in 1970. In the UK, smog from industrial towns chokes the skies and rivers run murky with pollution. Campaigns against nuclear testing gain momentum, with protesters marching in Trafalgar Square, their signs decrying radiation's invisible threat. The oil crisis of '73 has heightened awareness of resource scarcity, fueling debates on energy and conservation. Picture activists in flared jeans and peace symbols, their voices rising in song, demanding cleaner air and water. The atmosphere is charged with a newfound urgency, a collective realization that humanity's footprint could scar the earth irreversibly. Technologically, the era is a bridge between analog and digital dreams. Color television is becoming commonplace, bringing vivid images into homes, but most still tune into the BBC or ITN on bulky sets with rabbit ear antennas. News anchors like Reginald Bosanquet deliver the evening bulletins with authoritative tones, their words trusted implicitly. There's no internet, no instant fact-checking. Information flows through newspapers like The Times or The Guardian, delivered by milkmen at dawn. Public psychology hinges on this trust. In an age of uncertainty, the telly is a beacon of truth. People discuss headlines over pints in smoky pubs, debating with passion but rarely questioning the source. It's a time when mysteries feel tangible, unexplained events sparking wonder and whispers, amplified by word of mouth and sensational tabloids. Culturally, the mid-70s pulse with creativity amid constraints. Punk rock simmers in the underground, ready to explode with bands like the Sex Pistols challenging the status quo. Television shows like Doctor Who captivate with tales of time travel and aliens, blurring lines between fiction and possibility. Fashion reflects the era's flux. Bell-bottom trousers, platform shoes, and polyester shirts in bold patterns. The music of David Bowie and Queen fills transistor radios, offering escapism from daily grind. Yet, beneath the vibrancy, there's an undercurrent of paranoia. Watergate's revelations in '74 have eroded faith in leaders worldwide, fostering skepticism. In this fertile ground, unexplained phenomena thrive, capturing imaginations hungry for something beyond the mundane.
There you have it. The stage is set in a world teetering between progress and peril. But what happens when an ordinary broadcast night turns extraordinary? Stay with us as we uncover the first major event in this timeline of mystery. You won't want to miss it. Welcome back to Unexplained History. We've set the stage with the historical context of the late 1970s, a time rife with paranoia and wonder. Now, let's step into the heart of the mystery, the incident itself. It was June 20th, 1977, a day that started like any other, but ended in chaos and confusion. Listen closely as we unravel how it all began.
June 20th, 1977. The sun rose over a sleepy England, casting long shadows across suburban homes and bustling city streets. It was a Monday, far removed from the playful deceptions of April Fool's Day. No one expected trickery on such an ordinary summer morning. Families tuned into their radios and televisions for the usual mix of news, weather, and light entertainment. But at precisely 6:45 p.m., during what should have been a standard evening broadcast on Southern television, something unnatural occurred. The screen flickered, the audio warped, not with static, but with purpose. A voice, deep and resonant, broke through, mimicking the polished tone of a scientific report. It wasn't frantic or sensational. It was calm, authoritative, as if delivering facts from a trusted source. Imagine it. A father in his armchair, pipe in hand, half listening while dinner simmered in the kitchen. A group of friends gathered around a flickering TV set, the room dimly lit by the glow. The voice began, "This is the voice of Asteron. We speak to you from the Galactic Federation." Not a joke, not a prank. It sounded like a genuine dispatch from the cosmos. The broadcast continued for nearly 6 minutes, detailing warnings about humanity's path, urging disarmament and peace. It referenced advanced beings watching over Earth, their messages delivered in a format that echoed real scientific briefings, complete with technical jargon and measured pacing. No laughter, no punchline, just certainty. Minute by minute, the tension built. At first, viewers blinked in confusion, adjusting their sets, thinking it a technical glitch. "Did you hear that?" One might whisper to another, the words hanging in the air like smoke. But as the voice persisted, detailing cosmic councils and interstellar threats, doubt crept in. Hearts quickened, breaths grew shallow. A mother clutched her child closer, the room suddenly feeling smaller, the outside world vast and unknown. Phones began to ring at the station, not in amusement, but in alarm. "Is this real?" callers demanded, their voices edged with fear. The broadcast's timing amplified the unease. Evening hours when families were home, vulnerable. The day's fatigue making minds more susceptible to suggestion. Confusion mounted like a gathering storm. Streets that had been quiet erupted with neighbors spilling out, discussing in hushed tones under street lamps. "It's not April Fool's," one man insisted, his face pale in the twilight. Radios crackled in cars, drivers pulling over, staring at the sky as if expecting ships to descend. The air thickened with an electric charge, the scent of impending rain mixing with the metallic tang of fear. Some laughed it off nervously, but others felt a chill, a primal dread that this was no hoax. Reports flooded in, people barricading doors, children wide-eyed and silent. The broadcast ended abruptly, returning to normal programming, but the damage was done. Whispers turned to debates, debates to panic. What if it was true? The night stretched on, heavy with unanswered questions.
The incident of June 20th, 1977 sparked a wave of bewilderment that rippled far beyond that evening. But this was just the beginning. Stay with us as we explore the escalation of the event, where confusion turned to widespread alarm and investigations began. You're listening to Unexplained History. Welcome back, listeners. We've just covered the initial incident, that fateful broadcast that sent shockwaves through the airwaves. But what happened next? The chaos didn't end with the final words. It was only the beginning. In this segment, we dive into the high strangeness that followed as panic gripped the nation and reality blurred with fiction. Let's explore the escalation. Imagine the scene. It's a quiet evening, the radio humming in living rooms across the country. But as the broadcast unfolds, reports of strange lights in the sky, unexplained phenomena descending upon cities, listeners freeze. Phones start ringing. Not just a few, but a deluge. Network switchboards light up like Christmas trees in a storm.
Operators, overwhelmed, their voices strained. "Sir, ma'am, please, it's just a show." Or is it? The calls pour in from everywhere. Terrified families barricading doors, others fleeing to the streets, cars honking in frantic escape. Confusion spreads like wildfire, leaping from one town to the next, fueled by word of mouth and half-heard whispers. Nationwide, the alarm builds. In small towns, sheriff's offices are besieged. Aliens are landing. What do we do? In cities, crowds gather outside newspaper buildings, demanding answers. The air thickens with tension, the scent of fear mingling with the night fog. Radios crackle, interrupted by urgent bulletins, but they only add to the mayhem. Was that a real news flash or part of the hoax? Debates rage in diners and on street corners. "It sounded too real" versus "it's gotta be fake, right?" The missing credits at the end. That was the spark. No clear announcement that it was fiction, no roll of names to break the spell. Listeners left hanging, hearts pounding. And then, the press explodes. Headlines scream the next morning, "Broadcast panic grips nation." Reporters swarm the station, microphones thrust forward, cameras flashing in the chaotic dawn. Stories of suicides, heart attacks, exaggerated perhaps, but the fear was palpable. Swirling debates ignite. Was it intentional? A cruel joke? The script bore an April Fool's date, a relic from an earlier draft, but the broadcast aired on a different day entirely, October 30th, Halloween Eve. That mismatch fueled the fire. "They meant to trick us," cry the skeptics. "It was a mistake," plead the producers. Uncertainty reigns, a thick fog of doubt enveloping the public psyche. Picture the atmosphere. Streets alive with hurried footsteps, shadows lengthening under street lamps as groups huddle, sharing tales of what they heard. The air buzzes with electricity, not from any invasion, but from human frenzy. Children cry, parents shout, and in the background, radios still drone on, repeating the echoes of terror. Days follow with congressional inquiries looming, networks scrambling to explain. The high strangeness peaks, sightings reported, not just in the broadcast, but real claims of odd lights fueled by the hysteria. Was it mass delusion, or did the broadcast tap into something deeper, something unexplained? The chaos swirls, a vortex of alarm and intrigue, leaving a nation questioning reality itself. What a whirlwind of panic and confusion. As the dust from this broadcast settled, questions remained about those behind it. Who were the key figures that orchestrated this event, intentionally or not? Stay tuned as we delve into the minds and motives of the people involved in our next segment. Welcome back, listeners. We've just explored the escalating events that shook the world of Alternative 3. But behind every great mystery, there are the people who bring it to life. Who were the masterminds crafting this enigmatic tale? Let's meet the players, the broadcaster, the writer, the director, the actor, and the network that dared to air it all. Over to our storyteller for the deep dive. Imagine a smoky newsroom in the heart of 1970s Britain. where the air hums with the clatter of typewriters and the faint scent of cigarette ash. At the center of it all stands Tim Brinton, a man whose voice carried the weight of authority. Born in 1929, Brinton was no stranger to the spotlight. A seasoned broadcaster for the BBC and ITN, he had covered everything from royal events to political upheavals, his crisp, reassuring tone earning him a reputation as the everyman's journalist. But in 1977, he lent that credibility to Alternative 3, presenting it as if it were a genuine episode of Anglia Television's Science Report. Was it a playful hoax or something more? Brinton, with his warm smile and steady gaze, might have chuckled at the chaos he unleashed, knowing full well how his familiar face blurred the lines between fact and fiction. Yet, beneath that professional facade, one wonders about his motivations. A desire to challenge viewers, perhaps, or simply the thrill of the game. Now, shift the scene to a dimly lit study, pages scattered across a wooden desk, illuminated by a single lamp. Here sits David Ambrose, the co-writer whose imagination birthed the narrative of Alternative 3. A novelist and screenwriter with a penchant for the speculative, Ambrose had already penned tales of time travel and psychic phenomena. His collaboration on this project was no accident. He wove environmental doom, secret space programs, and elite conspiracies into a tapestry that felt unnervingly real. Picture him pacing the room, eyes alight with excitement, debating plot twists over cups of strong tea. Ambrose's motivations? Perhaps a reflection of his own fears about the planet's future, or a clever commentary on media manipulation. Whatever drove him, his words lingered in the minds of viewers, humanizing the abstract terror of a dying Earth through vivid personal stories. Cut to the set, where the air is thick with the buzz of cameras and crew. Christopher Miles, the director, orchestrates the chaos with a visionary's precision. Brother to actress Sarah Miles, he came from a world of film and theater, having directed acclaimed documentaries and features. For Alternative 3, Miles shaped the tone, tense, shadowy, almost claustrophobic, as if the walls themselves whispered secrets. Imagine him behind the camera, his brow furrowed in concentration, coaxing performances that sold the illusion. His reputation for authenticity made the mockumentary style pop. Viewers felt the grit, the urgency. Motivations. Miles might have seen it as artistic rebellion, a way to probe societal anxieties while pushing the boundaries of television. Through his lens, the players became more than characters. They were haunted souls fleeing a broken world. Enter Shane Rimmer, the actor whose portrayal of astronaut Bob Groden added a layer of raw emotion. A Canadian-born voice of thunder, Rimmer was known for roles in Thunderbirds and James Bond films, his gravelly tones evoking strength and vulnerability. In Alternative 3, he embodied the whistleblower, his eyes wide with feigned terror as he revealed lunar bases and brainwashing. Picture him in makeup, drawing on real-life inspirations, perhaps memories of Vietnam-era disillusionment, to deliver lines that chilled spines. Rimmer's motivation? The joy of performance, sure, but also a chance to humanize the conspiracy, making the audience feel the personal cost of such secrets. Finally, there's Anglia Television, the regional broadcaster bold enough to produce and air this. Based in Norwich, they were known for quality programming, but Alternative 3 was their wild card, a science report episode that sparked global debate. Their role? Providing the platform, perhaps driven by a hunger for innovation in an era of staid TV.
These were the players, each bringing their unique spark to the fire of Alternative 3. But what happened when the authorities got involved? Stay tuned as we dive into the official investigation next. You won't want to miss it. Welcome back to Unexplained History. We've just delved into the character profiles behind the mysterious broadcast. Now, let's turn our attention to the official report that followed. What did Anglia Television and ITV do in the immediate aftermath to set the record straight? It's a tale of quick corrections amid rising public confusion. Stick with us as we unpack the procedural steps taken to clarify this as fiction.
In the dim control rooms of Anglia Television, the broadcast of Alternative 3 had just concluded. The air was thick with the hum of equipment winding down, but outside, phone lines were already lighting up. Viewers, gripped by the program's dire warnings of global catastrophe and secret space colonies, were calling in droves. It was June 20th, 1977, and what was intended as a clever April Fool's hoax, delayed by industrial action, had unexpectedly sown seeds of panic. Anglia's switchboards buzzed with inquiries. Was this real? Were world governments hiding the truth? The atmosphere in the studio shifted from satisfied post-production calm to one of urgent clarification. Within an hour of the broadcast's end, ITV took decisive action. An on-air announcement was prepared, its tone measured and reassuring, cutting through the evening's programming like a steady hand on a tiller. The announcer's voice, calm and authoritative, stated plainly that Alternative 3 was a work of fiction, a dramatized documentary meant for entertainment. No real conspiracies, no brain drains or disappearing scientists. It was all scripted. But the clarification didn't stop there. Anglia Television swiftly released the full credits, naming the actors who had portrayed the whistleblowers and experts. Shane Rimmer, known for his roles in science fiction, had lent his gravelly voice to the astronaut, Bob Groden. Others, like Richard Marner, brought credibility to their fictional testimonies. These credits were disseminated through press releases, emphasizing the program's satirical intent. Yet, the media played a double-edged role. Newspapers, sensing a story, amplified the confusion. Headlines screamed about the shocking exposé, with some outlets initially reporting it as potential fact before retracting. The public's lingering doubts festered in this environment. Letters poured into Anglia's offices, some expressing outrage at being fooled, others demanding more information on the alleged cover-up. The air carried a scent of mistrust, like stale coffee in a newsroom during a long night. Experts and authorities weighed in methodically. NASA officials issued statements dismissing the claims as absurd, pointing out the logistical impossibilities of secret Mars bases. Environmental scientists refuted the doomsday predictions, citing ongoing research that contradicted the program's narrative. Documented reactions painted a picture of a society on edge. The British press, including The Times, ran articles analyzing the hoax's impact, noting how the dry documentary style had blurred lines between fact and fiction. Public forums buzzed with debates. Some viewers felt a chill of real fear, imagining hidden elites fleeing a dying Earth. Anglia's director, John Wolfe, later admitted in interviews that the response exceeded expectations, the procedural admission coming swiftly, but not swiftly enough for all. Official statements from ITV reiterated the fictional nature, urging calm. Yet in the quiet aftermath, doubts lingered like shadows in a dimly lit archive room, whispers of conspiracy theories that refused to fade. The media's amplification created a feedback loop, where each report fed the myth, making the official clarifications seem like part of the cover-up to the most skeptical minds. Authorities, including government spokespeople, issued brief denials, emphasizing that no such programs existed. The tone remained dry and factual, a counterpoint to the broadcast's dramatic flair.
And there you have it, the official steps taken to debunk the myth, even as doubts persisted. But not everyone was convinced. Up next, we explore the skeptical theories that challenge the entire narrative. Stay tuned to Unexplained History as we separate fact from fiction. Welcome back, listeners. We've delved into the shadowy investigations surrounding Alternative 3, but now it's time to shine a light of reason on this enigma. What if the entire saga was nothing more than a masterful hoax? Let's turn a rational eye to the facts, dissecting why many believe Alternative 3 was simply a cleverly timed April Fool's prank designed to stir the pot of public paranoia. Over to our narrator for a sharp, analytical breakdown.
Imagine the dim glow of a 1970s television screen flickering in a cluttered living room, the air thick with the scent of cigarette smoke and lingering dinner aromas. It's June 20th, 1977, and Anglia Television broadcasts Alternative 3, a supposed documentary exposing a global conspiracy. But as the credits roll, or rather fail to roll properly, viewers are left in a haze of confusion and unease. This, skeptics argue, was no accident. It was a deliberate ploy, a mockumentary crafted to exploit the era's deep-seated fears. At its core, Alternative 3 posited that world governments were secretly colonizing Mars to escape an impending environmental catastrophe on Earth. Brain drains, vanishing scientists, slave labor on alien bases, it all sounded terrifyingly plausible. Yet, the rational eye sees through the facade. First, consider the timing. Originally slated for April 1st, April Fool's Day, the broadcast was delayed due to scheduling conflicts. This postponement, far from debunking the hoax, inadvertently amplified its impact. Viewers, unaware of the intended joke, took it at face value, their minds primed by the decade's ecological anxieties. The 1970s were a cauldron of environmental dread. Oil crises choked economies, pollution choked the skies, and books like The Limits to Growth painted doomsday scenarios of overpopulation and resource depletion. Alternative 3 echoed these fears, weaving them into a narrative of elite escape, leaving the masses to perish. But scientifically, it crumbles. Space travel in the 1970s? Mars colonization? NASA's Apollo missions had just ended, and the technology for sustained human presence on Mars was, and still is, decades away. The film's evidence, like grainy footage of a purported lunar base, was rudimentary special effects, laughable by today's standards, but convincing in an era before CGI. The media format played a crucial role. Presented as a serious episode of the Science Report series, it mimicked documentary style with interviews, leaked tapes, and stern narrators. This blurring of fiction and reality exploited public trust in television journalism, much like Orson Welles' War of the Worlds radio broadcast in 1938, which sparked panic through its news-like presentation. Here, the effect was similar. A transient wave of alarm swept through audiences, phones rang off the hook at Anglia TV, and newspapers buzzed with questions. Yet, the panic was short-lived, a fleeting storm dissipating as quickly as it formed. Why? Because rational analysis revealed the cracks. The missing end credits, which should have listed actors like Shane Rimmer playing fictional astronaut Bob Groden, fueled initial confusion. In reality, this was a production oversight, not a conspiracy. Creators like David Ambrose and Christopher Miles admitted it was satire, a commentary on environmental neglect wrapped in conspiracy thriller garb. Scientifically, the logistics defy logic, transporting batch consignments of humans to Mars. The energy requirements, radiation exposure, and life support systems were, and remain, insurmountable without public knowledge. No anomalous disappearances of scientists matched the film's claims. Brain drain was simply migration for better opportunities. The film's power lay in its emotional resonance, tapping into the helplessness felt amid ecological warnings. It wasn't about literal truth, but about mirroring societal anxieties, the fear that leaders knew of impending doom and planned to abandon ship. Skeptics point out how such hoaxes thrive on confirmation bias. Believers see patterns where none exist, ignoring Occam's razor, which favors the simplest explanation, a TV prank gone viral. In the cool light of analysis, Alternative 3 emerges not as a revelation, but as a cautionary tale of media manipulation. It shows how easily fiction can masquerade as fact, especially when it preys on real fears. The atmosphere of doubt it created lingered, inspiring books and fueling conspiracy circles. But rationally, it's a product of its time, a sharp jab at complacency in the face of environmental peril. No Martian bases, no secret pacts, just clever storytelling that briefly blurred the line between entertainment and alarm.
There you have it, a rational dissection that grounds Alternative 3 firmly in the realm of hoax and satire. But for those who still feel a chill of possibility, what about the paranormal angles? Could there be more otherworldly explanations at play? Stay tuned as we explore the supernatural theories next on Unexplained History. We've just heard the skeptic's take, dismissing Alternative 3 as nothing more than a clever hoax. But what if there's more to it? What if the program was trying to tell us something hidden in plain sight? Let's step into the shadows now and explore the theories that suggest Alternative 3 might have been a glimpse into a terrifying truth. Over to our storyteller to guide us through the unknown. Imagine a world on the brink, where the air grows thick with unspoken dread and the stars above
whisper secrets of escape. This is the realm where believers in Alternative 3 dwell, a place where the 1977 Anglia television broadcast wasn't just a mockumentary, but a carefully veiled disclosure. Fringe theorists argue that the program, with its chilling narrative of environmental collapse and elite evacuation to Mars, was no fiction at all. It was a soft leak, a whistle blown in the dark, meant to prepare the public without causing outright panic. Picture it, shadowy figures in dimly lit rooms, poring over classified documents. They know the Earth is dying. Overpopulation, pollution, climate shifts accelerating toward catastrophe. But salvation isn't for everyone. Only the elite, scientists, leaders, the genetically superior, are selected for relocation. Colonies on the Moon and Mars, built in secret with technology far beyond what we're told. Underground bases humming with forbidden energy, spacecraft slipping through the void under the cover of night. The atmosphere in these theories is thick with paranoia. Every news blackout, every unexplained disappearance fueling the fire. Why frame it as fiction, you ask? Suppression, they say. The powers that be couldn't risk mass hysteria. If the masses learned of Alternative 3, the third option after nuclear war or environmental suicide, chaos would erupt. Riots in the streets, demands for inclusion in this cosmic arc. So it was disguised as an April Fool's prank gone awry, buried under layers of denial. But clues linger, like echoes in an empty corridor. Believers point to real-world anomalies, the sudden vanishings of brilliant minds in the 1960s and 70s, rumored brain drain to off-world projects, astronauts' cryptic statements about structures on the Moon, blurred NASA photos that hint at bases, and the elite selection process. Oh, it's painted in strokes of eerie exclusivity, genetic profiling, psychological tests in hidden facilities where candidates are whisked away under false pretenses. The air in these imagined chambers is cold, sterile, laced with the metallic tang of advanced machinery. Fear and excitement mingle as the chosen few board vessels bound for red deserts or lunar craters, leaving the doomed behind. Paranormal threads weave deeper still. Some speculate extraterrestrial involvement, aliens aiding humanity's elite in exchange for what? Resources? Silence? The program's mention of batch consignments, humans transported like cargo, evokes a sense of cosmic horror. Bodies in stasis, minds adrift in the endless black. Why the reframing? Perhaps a test of public reaction, or a warning from insiders risking everything. The enduring secret hangs like fog over a midnight lake. Questions unanswered, trails going cold. Believers feel it in their bones, a vibration of truth beneath the lies. Late-night forums buzz with testimonies, anonymous sources claiming involvement, visions of domed cities under alien skies. The mystery persists, a shadow that lengthens with each passing year, inviting us to question, is Alternative 3 still unfolding? Are the elite already gone, watching from afar as Earth teeters? The air grows heavier. The unknown beckons.
Chilling thoughts, indeed. Whether you buy into these fringe ideas or not, there's no denying the grip Alternative 3 has on the imagination. But how has this faux documentary shaped culture and conspiracy lore? Stay with us as we delve into its lasting legacy in the next segment. Welcome back, listeners. We've delved into the shadowy theories surrounding Alternative 3. But what lingers long after the credits roll? Today, we reflect on its lasting impact, the way it seeped into our culture like a whisper that refuses to fade. Let's explore the aftermath.
Imagine the dim glow of a late-night screen, the air thick with the scent of stale coffee and unspoken doubts. It's been decades since that fateful broadcast in 1977, yet Alternative 3 clings to the edges of our collective imagination, a spectral reminder of what might be. What began as a clever hoax, or was it, has evolved into a cultural touchstone, inspiring everything from shadowy online forums to blockbuster films. Think of movies like The Truman Show or The Matrix, where reality itself is questioned, echoing the mockumentary's blend of fact and fiction. It planted seeds of skepticism, making us wonder if the world we see is merely a stage set by unseen directors. In conspiracy theory communities, Alternative 3 is revered, almost sacred. Forums buzz with debates, users dissecting grainy footage and alleged whistleblower accounts, their voices tinged with a mix of excitement and paranoia. It's not just about secret space bases on Mars. It's a symbol of deeper fears: environmental collapse, elite control, the fragility of truth in an age of media manipulation. Reflect for a moment on the emotions it stirs. That chill down your spine when you consider the broadcast's warnings of overpopulation and climate doom. Back then, it was dismissed as a prank by Anglia Television, a cheeky end to their science report series. But the timing was eerily perfect, riding the wave of real anxieties about pollution, resource scarcity, and Cold War tensions. Today, with climate change headlines dominating the news, Alternative 3 feels less like fiction and more like a prophecy unheeded. It influenced how we perceive environmental crises, urging us to question official narratives. Remember the sensory details, the faux interviews with scientists, their faces etched with feigned gravity, the static hum of old tapes replayed in dimly lit rooms. These elements created an atmosphere of unease, one that lingers in modern documentaries and podcasts, blurring lines between entertainment and exposé. And the debates about media trust, they rage on. In an era of fake news and deepfakes, Alternative 3 stands as a cautionary tale, a reminder that what we consume can shape our reality, for better or worse.
The echoes of Alternative 3 continue to resonate, challenging us to reflect on truth and deception. But as we wrap up this exploration, it's time to draw our final thoughts together. Join us next in the conclusion, where we tie up the loose ends of this enigmatic tale. As we wrap up our journey into the enigma of Alternative 3, let's pause and reflect on the shadows it casts over our understanding of truth and deception. What if the greatest mysteries aren't hidden in secret bases or distant planets, but in the depths of our own minds? Join me now for some final thoughts on this bewildering tale.
In the dim glow of conspiracy's flickering light, Alternative 3 lingers like a half-remembered dream, one that blurs the line between elaborate hoax and unspoken reality. Broadcast in '97 as a faux documentary, it painted a chilling portrait of global elites fleeing a doomed Earth for Martian colonies, abducting scientists and civilians to build a new world amid environmental catastrophe. Yet, as the credits rolled and the creators admitted it was fiction, a prank wrapped in the guise of investigative journalism, the unease refused to dissipate. Why? Because deep down, in the quiet corners of our psyche, we crave the mystery, the possibility that truth is stranger than any scripted lie. Imagine the atmosphere of that era: Cold War paranoia thick as fog, oil crises fueling fears of collapse, whispers of UFOs and government cover-ups echoing through smoke-filled rooms. Alternative 3 tapped into those primal anxieties, transforming vague dread into a narrative so vivid it felt tangible, like the cold sweat on your skin during a midnight storm. It wasn't just a story, it was a mirror, reflecting our collective terror of an uncertain future, where overpopulation, pollution, and nuclear shadows loomed like specters at the edge of vision. This unresolved tension, fact teetering on the brink of fiction, speaks to something profound in human nature. We are drawn to the unknown, not despite the fear it evokes, but because of it. Our minds, wired for survival, weave patterns from chaos, turning coincidences into conspiracies to make sense of the incomprehensible. Think of the sensory weight of doubt, the heavy silence after a startling revelation, the chill that runs down your spine when a what-if burrows into your thoughts, refusing to let go. Alternative 3 exploited this psychological need, showing how our deepest fears shape what we accept as truth or reject as folly. In a world of media saturation, where headlines blur with hearsay, it reminds us that perception is malleable, molded by emotion as much as evidence. Was it merely a clever jest, a television trick to provoke and entertain? Or did it unwittingly prophesy the very deceptions we face today? Fake news, deepfakes, and the erosion of trust in institutions. The boundary between prank and prophecy thins to a razor's edge, leaving us to ponder what lies beneath the surface of the narratives we consume. In the quiet aftermath, as the echoes fade, one haunting question remains. Could the real alternative be the one we create in our own imaginations, forever chasing shadows in the dark? That concludes our investigation into this mystery. I'm Tom Mackenzie. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and leave us a review. And remember to visit unexplained.co for the photos we discussed today. Until next time, keep looking for the truth.